Animal chiropractic friends, I have some amazing news for you and for your dog owners, especially your dog breeders. Here's what we know. I'm going to line up a couple things and then I'm going to, give you the total at the bottom. We know that under stress induces an increase in progesterone and cortisol in any animal, male or female. So there's that. The next thing I want you to know is that the life cycle of the parasite, which I talked about briefly this morning, is, I'm sorry, cold things in my throat. The life cycle of the parasite is this. That parasite is encysted, swirled up into the muscle meat of your dog, your breeding bitch. When she is ready to birth, she puts out a bunch of progesterone, which is a signal to those parasites to get up and move and burrow through her tissue and make their way to the mammary glands. Now, if I've got a female that is highly stressed after birth, she's going to have a higher level of progesterone that throughout. So she's not going to turn it on and then turn it off after the birth is over. And that's usually what happens. Well, so what do you suppose happens to those puppies? They literally drink in their new layer of parasites. And those parasites migrate through the puppies, go make homes in their muscles, and live there until another progesterone spike. So let's think this through. Do puppies, let's go one more step. So what are some of the symptoms of a high parasite level in the gut? Symptoms of a high parasite level in the gut include a dog vomiting, a dog with diarrhea, a dog who's lethargic, a dog who doesn't want to eat. What other disease of puppies do we see those very same symptoms in? We call it parvo, right? When puppies become highly stressed, and what makes them more stressed is when they are putting out more, when they are not getting enough nutrition. Maybe there's too many puppies and there's some infighting for who gets to eat first. Maybe mom is stressed and she's not making enough milk. Maybe mom is so stressed that she's not putting out enough magnesium in her milk because her bones are brittle and because she's been bred so many times that she has run out of minerals to give those puppies. These are some things I want you to think about. So when those puppies become stressed, now they start putting out progesterone. Their adrenal glands fire off the progesterone and the cortisol. And so what happens? They start having diarrhea, vomiting, lethargy, inappetence. They're not eating. They are not doing well. And they start going downhill. And we call this parvo. And we vaccinate them to prevent parvo. But I think we can avoid a lot of the disease that we cause in these puppies later with that highly toxic vaccination if we manage their stress better. Chiropractic is one of the best ways to manage that stress in the puppies and in the mom and keep them healthier, happier, and avoid parvo. So why do well-adjusted puppies not get parvo? Because they're not stressed and they're not putting out all that progesterone and they're not having this migration, the second migration of worms through their systems, which is not really the time for those worms to be migrating. We know that those worms are supposed to live in the muscle tissue for months, years, whatever. But when they become stressed, they start spitting them out. And this is also why sometimes you'll see even adult dogs that show these kinds of symptoms when they're stressed. I have a dog. Should we name her, buddy? Pink. Gets highly stressed when I leave. She's really attached. She's the Velcro dog. And when I come back, vomiting and diarrhea. Now, it can be linked to the weather cycle as well. And we will see that when we have dogs. Now, Pink is the one who is horribly afraid of thunderstorms, horribly afraid of lightning and thunder, hides under the bed. And those are times she's really stressed. Why is she having those issues? Probably parasites. And so we deworm her more often than we do some of the other dogs. I hope you find this helpful. I'm going to run this through and make it a blog so that more of you get a chance to hear it and listen and think about it. And I'd love to hear your comments. I know veterinarians are going to have some interesting comments about this revelation and this thought process, and I'd love to hear what you have to say.